So the CI writing assignment we've got these 4 parts to it. We've got statement. We've got the elaboration. We've got the example. And we've got the illustration. Statement is 1 sentence. Elaboration is 5 to 7 sentences. The example is another 5 to 7 sentences. And the illustration is 1 to 2 sentences. Okay. All right. So the statement is, what are you trying to prove? Okay, that's your statement. Okay, it's only 1 sentence, but you're making a claim. You're saying that something is true, and the objective of your CI paper is to provide some proof for it. Okay, so the other 3 components after the statement are ways of backing up your statement with proof. Okay, so the first part of your proof is the elaboration. Explain, in other words, what you mean in your statement. Okay, so it might be helpful to start with, in other words, when you are putting your elaboration together. That's a really good way of getting your paragraph started in the elaboration section. In other words, and then you just sort of say it using more words in a paraphrase. Okay, so we've got statement, we've got elaboration, we've got to talk about the example. And this is describe. And this is a keyword here. I would urge you to underline explain when it comes to elaboration. That's the mode of expression that you want to be gravitating towards when you're doing elaboration. When you're doing an example, you don't want to be explaining, you want to be describing, okay? Describe the details that make up the example. Describe the example. When was it? Who was there? What happened? Okay. All of these things are going to be rooted, this description is of a single real example. Okay, that's what you want to do for your example. You want to pick one example and then try and describe all of the minute details. Okay, getting to 5 to 7 sentences. All right, I am almost out of room on this page. I'm going to have to go to the next one. And so we've got an illustration. That's the last thing. So we've had the statement. That's 1 sentence. Elaboration is 5 to 7. Example is another 5 to 7. And then the illustration is going to be 1 to 2 sentences. where you compare what you identify in your statement or claim to something else. Okay? That's how this is going to work. So you're going to propose that there is something that what you're describing sort of is, there is a pattern of resemblance that's found in this other thing. And it's not going to be a very long discussion. You're just going to say, this thing is kind of like this other thing. And then you give a really quick description of what the resemblance is that you've identified between this thing and the other thing. So come back to me talking about communication reciprocity, where I do self-disclosure, and it's going to pressure people to do the same thing back to me. It's similar to me like jumping into a pool, letting the waves hit the walls, and then the waves come back at me. There's kind of a reflective quality about how self-disclosure works. Does that make sense? So the illustration is the last thing you do in your CI paper, okay? These papers are going to probably be no more than a page. Some of them are 2 pages. I've never seen a 3-page CI. So let's try and do the best that we can with the CI, and we'll see what we can come up with for next week. Okay.